Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Dom K in here, of course. The Dom K Show on fire-tv.com. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy Hump Day. Had to take a few extra days off. I mean, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. So, you tune into Monday Night Football. We're at the end of the season. And in the very beginning, 5 minutes or so within to a very consequential game, especially for the Baltimore Ravens. We needed Cincinnati to lose. But tuning into that game, we see something that we have never seen before. It was a scary thing to see. Scary thing to see. But Damar Hamlin suffered an injury during the game. It didn't seem like a extremely devastating hit. It didn't seem like something that would have done what it went on to do. But there it was. One of the most important games of the season. Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills ends up going into cardiac arrest and now is in critical condition. His collapse was something that was super, super scary. Super scary. So the football player, 24 years old, 2 years in the league, Damar Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest following a hit in the Buffalo Bills game versus the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He was sedated and listed in critical condition. This is the young man here. He spent last night in intensive care and remains there at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Family and the team are grateful and thankful for the outpouring of support that they have received thus far. As of this broadcast, they said that he shows signs of improvement, but he remains hospitalized and in critical condition. But there were slight signs of improvement. Slight signs. His uncle told numerous media outlets last night that there were some encouraging signs, such as the doctors lowering the level of oxygen that Hamlin needed from 100% to 50%. CPR was administered to Hamlin. As I said, he's 24 years old, on the field Monday night for multiple minutes after he collapsed. Collapsed following his tackle with T. Higgins of Cincinnati. Hamlin received oxygen, and he was placed in an ambulance and taken off the field some 16 minutes after he collapsed. He was then taken to the hospital. Players reacted. We saw them visibly shaken. We saw some of these young men crying. We saw them praying. The NFL announced that the Bills-Bengals games would not resume this week, and that the league was undecided on resuming the game at a later date. NFL has not made any changes to Week 18, the regular schedule. I mean, it needs just to be a draw. Just needs to be a tie. But just a lot outpouring. He had created a GoFundMe for a drive that he was doing for kids that went from trying to get $2,500 to receiving over $6 million in a few hours. So, something slightly good coming from that. Now, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, they feud a lot. They feud a lot. I enjoy watching the show that they do, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. So, of course, Skip Bayless, definitely someone who does not run from controversy. I think he runs towards controversy. He runs towards controversy. So he spent his third straight day defending controversial statements or controversial tweet that he made about Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. So there was a tense exchange today between Skip and Shannon Sharp. Of course, Shannon Sharp is a former NFL player, member of the Hall of Fame, played here for the Ravens. Of course, he played for Denver Broncos. And he was not present on the Tuesday show. There was a lot of speculation. I figured that it was the reason that he went on to say. So his absence, Shannon Sharp's absence yesterday, followed Skip Bayless's widely criticized tweet questioning whether the NFL should have ended the Bills game on Monday against the Cincinnati Bengals after Hamlin collapsed on the field. Hamlin went into cardiac arrest after a hit to his chest. So Skip Bayless looked at this just like any other injury that we've seen over the years, which it was not. This was more serious than any injury we have ever seen in the NFL, on the field, in front of the players, in front of everybody. This wasn't even in practice. This was in front of the world. Everyone was watching. Years ago, in the 90s, might have been 1998, the WWE had an event in which Owen Hart fell from the rafters into the ring in an accident, a stunt gone wrong, and fell into the ring. He died in the ring. And the WWE continued the event. I mean, these guys were like on autopilot. It was one of their own. One of their wrestling brothers died in the ring. And because of money, because of greed, because of insensitivity, because of ignorance, they continued the show. And they were slammed for it, justifiably so. They should have ended that show. So, Damar Hamlin did not die on the field, but his heart stopped. I guess maybe you could say he died and was brought back. But these young men witnessed that. How could you expect these kids to play? These young adults to play? Talk about insensitivity. Hamlin went into cardiac arrest after this hit. And Skip Bayless, who has never played the game, says this is no different than any other injury, but it is. It is. During the incident, Skip Bayless said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." At that moment, it was irrelevant. So, am I to understand, Skip Bayless, if A meteor fell in the middle of the stadium and dropped on the field. According to Skip Bayless, we would still go on. I mean, it's just a meteor. What about the rest of the season? Some things supersede the game. And this young player's life is one of those things. Well, he says, no doubt, the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season. Coming from a man who never played the game, Bayless later followed up the tweet saying the controversy surrounding that tweet was a misunderstanding of his intention. Nobody misunderstood what you said. We understand English, fam. But anyway, on Wednesday, the two hosts, Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless, immediately got into an argument at the beginning of the show. I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field, Shannon Sharpe said during his opening monologue. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagreed with the tweet, and hopefully Skip will take it down, but I wanted to, and then he got interrupted by Skip Bayless, who doubled down, tripled down, and said, I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted. So if he stands by what he tweeted, then there was no way that there was a misunderstanding with his intention. And, the two, I guess, agree to disagree. But the fact that the game had consequences, playoff implications, does not mean that it's more important than the life of Damar Hamlin. Whether Skip Bayless understands that or not, whether Skip Bayless is on some, he's on there on Fox, so when it's conservative, I'm not gonna apologize, I'm not gonna back down, maybe they on that, he's on that, and he feels as though it'll show weakness for him to do that. And he's on a conservative sports channel, so maybe that's what it is. Ego. But he doubled down, tripled down. And there was some back and forth between the two folks. But Shannon Sharpe then decided not to continue his monologue. He was visibly upset at Bayless. He said, I cannot even get through my monologue without you interrupting me. And Skip had all Tuesday to say any of the foolishness that he wanted to say. And most of the viewers wanted to hear what Shannon Sharpe had to say because he hadn't been there. They hadn't heard from him on the show. Sharpe tried to bring the conversation back to Hamlin rather than making it about Skip Bayless. And Bayless said that he didn't expect Shannon Sharpe to address his tweet on air. The tense conversation only lasted about a minute. But the two had a tense conversation last month. And I realized that they didn't want to go there. First it was a misunderstanding. Said that nothing is more important than that young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters, he says. This was Skip on Monday. Bayless did not acknowledge the tweet at the beginning of Tuesday's show, but appeared emotional about the incident. So how do you really feel, Skip? People are confused. He said that I apologize for what we're going to set out to do here today if it offends anyone, because we're going to try to do the show pretty much as usual, or as they usually do the show. They wanted to have a pretty much regular show. I'll admit up front that I'm still shook up by what happened last night to Damar Hamlin. In fact, I'm still wrecked. In fact, I'm not sure I'm capable of doing this show today, Skip said. This is a Tuesday show. Shannon Sharp was not on that show. The NFL postponed Monday's game after the coaches from both teams refused to continue the game, saying that details on the next steps would come at the appropriate time. So understand this. I recognize sometimes you have to make tough decisions. And in my opinion, as a small business owner, the tough decision was to postpone the game. That was the tough decision. The easy decision would be to keep the game going. The tough decision was to postpone the game. This young player's health is more important than anything about the NFL. These players, whether folks want to realize it, accept it or not, these players put their lives on the line every time they get on the field. And for us as viewers, how dare we say the spectacle of the game is more important than the players in it? How dare we? How dare he? Skip Bayless. Especially being someone who's never played the game. Never played the game. Yeah, it's unfortunate that some folks are so heartless, are so void of real priorities that, he could even utter a statement like that. And the way that he flip-flops between acting like somebody, a human being, and then acting like a Neanderthal. Interesting. This young man suffered cardiac arrest on the field. He was placed on a ventilator to relieve some of the strain in his lungs, which had been damaged. And Skip Bayless is worried about the playoffs. Doctors told family that Hamlin had been flipped over on his stomach to help with the blood on his lungs. This was a serious injury. And while he is showing signs of improvement, the health and wellness, this young man's life was in jeopardy. Life was in jeopardy. Yeah, it is just mind-boggling. Many of you have, children who play Little League, play high school football, play college, play in the NFL, play in the CFL, play football. This was a scary thing to watch. And I've looked at the hit, I've looked at the tackle, and it was hard impact. It was hard impact, and it was difficult to watch. Difficult to watch. So, of course, we're praying for this young man. And I'm going to read a statement from the family of Damar Hamlin. Statement from the family. And, it is really a miracle that this young man made it, or has made it, and hopefully he will get back to making a full recovery. Let's get into this statement from the family. And it says, from the family of Damar Hamlin, on behalf of our family, we want to express our sincere gratitude for the love and support shown to Damar during this challenging time. We are deeply moved by the prayers, kind words, and donations from fans around the country. We also want to acknowledge the dedicated first responders and healthcare professionals at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center who have provided exceptional care to Damar. We feel so blessed to be part of the Buffalo Bills organization and to have their support. We also want to thank Coach Taylor and the Bengals for everything they've done. Your generosity and compassion means the world to us. Please keep Damar in your prayers. We will release updates as soon as we have them. Thank you, the Hamlin family. So, as you can see, the family thankful, happy, grateful for everything. That announcement directly from Damar's family. So I definitely agree that the game should have been postponed. There was no way that those athletes, those players on either side of the ball could have competed in any meaningful way after what they witnessed. No, there's no way. There's no way. And we cannot be so insensitive to the fragility of life that we place an NFL sports, a game over the life of anyone.
You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on Fire-TV.com. On Fire-TV.com. I went to Edmondson High School here in Baltimore. And Edmondson, the way Edmondson is set up, it's across the street from Edmondson Shopping Center. It's an area, there, food, clothing, stores, whatever. Across the street from the school. So many times, you weren't supposed to do this, but many times folks would leave from school and go to the shopping center to eat. And many times, not all the time, but many times, they would go back to school after getting food from the shopping center. So, I mean, this is something that I've seen happen many times. Obviously, I've participated in it. I've done it myself. I've gone across the street to eat at the shopping center. Now, sadly, one dead, 5 juveniles shot at the Edmondson Village shopping center. As I said, this is the shopping center where I would go to for lunch many times when I had money in high school. Many times. And the fact that these kids get shot, one person dead, it is just a sad state of affairs. Here in Baltimore, wherever you live, I'm sure that you have situations that are similar to this. So a juvenile died in this shooting today. Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said that 5 juveniles were shot outside of the Popeyes restaurant, and it's believed 2 individuals shot multiple rounds toward the victims. A nearby officer and a school police responded and began to render life-saving efforts. 2 victims taken to shock trauma and 2 were taken to Sinai. Harrison believed that the victims are Edmondson Westside High School students who were on their lunch break. The school is across the street, as I said, from the shopping center. A witness said that they heard multiple gunshots and saw one of the victims being given CPR. Just sad, just sad. When you have this level of violence, it's just folks just become desensitized to it. Multiple people shot in separate instances in Baltimore today. Multiple people. Police responded to reports of a shooting at the 3200 block of Pulaski Highway early this morning, 9:30 a.m. Found a 55-year-old man with gunshot wounds. Then they got reports of another male victim in the 100 block of North Clinton Street. Both were taken to a local hospital. The 55-year-old male listed in stable condition, while the second victim is currently listed in critical condition. Around the same time, police also responded to reports of a 27-year-old woman shot in the 2700 block of Spelman Road. She was shot in the upper body while driving. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And sadly, many folks desensitized. Like, it doesn't even bother them because we hear it so much. So many folks. So much violence. Yeah, I don't think that it's ever okay. Listen to the Damar Hamlin Show on fire-tv.com. Welcome back. You made Damar K in here, the Damar K Show on fire-tv.com. Kevin McCarthy rejected again for House Speaker. The Republican Party in disarray. Man, y'all are looking crazy out here, Republicans. Once again, House Republicans, flail through the second straight day of multiple balloting today, unable to elect their leader, Kevin McCarthy, as the House Speaker or come up with any kind of strategy to end the political chaos that has tarnished the start of their new majority. I mean, it looks crazy. For the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth time, Republicans tried to vote McCarthy into the top job as the House plunged into deeper disarray. Oh, it is looking crazy. The votes were producing almost the same outcome each time. 20 consecutive holdouts still refusing to support him and leaving him far short of the 218 typically needed to win the gavel. In fact, McCarthy saw his tally slip to 201 as one fellow Republican switched the vote to simply present. Yeah, it is looking crazy. I don't see how they get out of this political standoff. Republicans voted late Wednesday to adjourn as they desperately search for some kind of end game. The chaos and the turmoil. They're due back at 8 p.m. It's like Groundhog's Day. It just keeps happening over and over and over again. So the Republicans just he thinks he has the votes. He clearly doesn't have the votes. It looks worse than what it looks worse than what I thought. I mean, the disorganized start of the new Congress, it really accents the difficulties ahead. Really does. Of course, I'll be back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the Diamond K Show on all social media. You want to get in touch with me, booking, you need beats or, features, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Send me music, djdiamondk@gmail.com. I will see you guys tomorrow.
Visit OnFireTV.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.